It's sharing time. Oh, he left. Oh, purple. Okay. Come on. goodness. We're a little late. What do you say we kick this thing off?
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but that's a doggone season that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do.
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who brings the job a fresh new point of view. Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair? We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you'll cast your vote for Kennedy and the change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Welcome from my humble second bedroom, as it's always been. Here in Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States, North American continent, Western Hemisphere of planet Earth. Third rock from the sun. The only one we have. Part of the Milky Way galaxy, this is the Kennedy Effect live with you for our 7th anniversary program. This program began on April 17th, 2019. So today is the closest show date to that. Therefore, we are celebrating our 7th anniversary of the program this evening. And we're very glad to have you all with us as well. The program, of course, carried along I'm kind of having trouble getting my thoughts together because I guess it's hitting me now that this has been going on for 7 years. And in some ways, it doesn't feel that long, and in other ways, it feels tremendously long. If you're George, it feels like a hell of a lot longer than 7 years because he's been putting up with me for 7 years and my technical issues and throwing computers and wanting to throw computers and my lack of technical prowess. But it is hard to believe that we've been doing this program for 7 years. And when it started, I'd like to think that it's still humble. Maybe is the right word for it. I'd like to think that we're still humble. We are nothing that we ever did not want to be. I think we're everything that we wanted to be. With the exception of this being my full-time job and not having a job that sucks the ever-living life out of me. But that said, we've struggled at times with the program. I've obviously had to take time away repeatedly for health issues, both physical and mental. And I haven't shied away from being honest about that, or being open about it. In the same way that we've been struggling recently mentally. It's a lot to take in. I wonder sometimes how the truly high-paid TV professionals continue to do this day in and day out. But then again, they're high-paid, so that might be the way they are able to put up with the constant storm of what. It seems to bubble up from underneath rather than or pour down upon us, depending on how you want to look at it. But it's a momentous thing for us. It's a big deal. We started this 7 years ago to try to educate and entertain, because if it's not entertaining, who's going to listen? And then you become the proverbial tree in the forest. And I'm sure there's times where we've been the proverbial tree in the forest. But here we are, 7 years later. I have a new chair. Thank God, I know, because I bitched about my other one enough. Because I cried like a child about my other broken chair. I just turned the massage feature on. Thank you so much. It's a big deal for us, and I hope that you'll celebrate with us for as long as the show seems to naturally continue. It's also hard to believe that when we started, we were doing 4 hours, and it was a lot. And then we've had time of the program where we were doing 5 nights a week. Physically, I simply couldn't keep that up anymore. And we're back to our humble little Sunday evening get-togethers, and we couldn't do it without you. Let's just be blunt. If no one was listening or watching, we couldn't do it without you. We couldn't be here without you. We wouldn't be here without you. And at the end of the day, to everyone who listens and watches steadily, I almost said religiously, but I don't think that's the right word for it, but watches, on a steady basis, thank you. Just flat thank you. There's nothing else I can say other than thank you.
Actually, people were watching because you were getting death threats. So.
Well, that's true. That's true. I haven't gotten any in a while, so maybe we're fading.
You can come borrow some of mine. You can come borrow.
Do you want to share some of yours?
Yeah, we can trade.
Yeah, I do remember that. That might be one of the. That's easily one of the easiest memories of the program is the night that we got our death threats live on the air right toward the end of the show. Yeah, that was live too. Live right in the comments section. Yeah, that was something special. That's when we knew listening. What's that?
I said people were listening. People.
That's when we knew we made
the show.
Yep, that's when we knew we made it. That's for sure.
Yeah, we hit a nerve.
Yeah,
with MAGA
or several,
or several.
Let's do the business end of the program. This is the Kennedy Effect live with you for the 19th of April, 2026, our 7th anniversary celebration. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Hot101.net, Our Revolution Pennsylvania, Ghost Claw Entertainment, and Ghost Claw Productions. We are live right now on our home group Facebook page for all things that surrounds our program, The Kennedy Effect, on Facebook. It's literally called that. Very nice and easy to find. If you are not already a member of our group, I heartily invite you. humbly invite you to become part of our Facebook group, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. That's how you find us. It's literally that simple. The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels. We are live at the YouTube channel for GCPR Ghost Claw Productions Radio and my own YouTube channel, The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. The names of the places to find us are the names of the places to find us. The Kennedy Effect on Facebook and the Kennedy Effect on YouTube. I don't know how to make it any easier. If I find a way, I will do so, but I haven't found one yet. We've named it exactly where you can find us. The Kennedy Effect on Facebook and the Kennedy Effect on YouTube. And of course, the audio of the program blasts around the globe via 2 global internet radio stations. One, our very first. The first radio station we were on only weeks after the program began, and one of the originators of global internet radio, hot101.net. Our name is our web address. You can go to our website, hot101.net, and listen there for free, the very best price of all. You can find out everything about the station there as well, but you don't need the website to listen. You can use our apps. Go to the Apple App Store for Apple devices, the Google Play Store for Android devices, and the Tune and radio app for all other types of devices. Type in hot101.net and you are listening for free. No credit card, no blood sample. Don't have to sign over your mortgage or firstborn. You're listening 100% for free. And of course, you can tell Alexa to play hot101.net. We are live right now also on GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio. Go to our website, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, Ghost Claw Productions Radio.live, GCPR.live. You'll find it either way that you search, GCPR.live. You can listen there for free, find out everything about the station, our hosts, our shows, merchandise, as well as download the Android app right there at GCPR.live. We will try to take phone calls later on. Again, the phone system is still me holding up my humble phone to the microphone, in which case you can't hear. We have a special, any guest is a special guest, but we have a special guest because she's a new friend to the program and new friend to the station. Taz is joining us for our 7th anniversary. Welcome and thank you.
Of course. Congratulations, fellas. And I
think
feel,
that look from George just says it all. Congratulations. It's more like, yeah, maybe, kind of.
well, for GCPR, for GCPR, I guess in all technicality, I'm the new spinoff of the Kennedy Effect because I have the Taz Effect. So I haven't even gotten to a year mark yet. So I'm in awe. You made it 7 years.
Yeah, but there's been breaks in there in between. We've done some summer, respites, and there's been respites while I've been hospitalized and things like that. I don't think we could do it. How long, George, did we manage to do the 5-day a week? I think I managed that for a couple of months, and I just burnt out.
Well,
I don't.
Every day, 5 days in a week, it is exhausting because I
think if it was my only job, it would be fine.
Yeah, I stepped into those shoes, and it's just me. And there are times where I'm like, what was I thinking? It's a lot of time. But I do have the benefit of Trump being a sociopath, so I never run out of things to discuss. But whew. And
but it can get a lot. It can be a lot.
Yeah, but then I have George stopping by, inferring that I keep slides in the back of the air conditioner. I don't. I just have a.
You are muted, George, by the way. Did you know that?
We'll just call it. I have a festive. Yeah, we'll describe it. Festive skeleton that lives in the living room, which I think is perfectly normal.
Well, if you're around Pennsylvania, it seems to be something that's become a bit of thing, for lack of a better term, because they don't have a better term for it, is having the 8-foot skeleton in your front in the front lawn.
Yeah, I can't
And
find
then you
8
change
foot
and then you
tall
change the
clothes.
clothes for it
I can't
based on the
find
holiday and the weather and whatnot.
yeah, I can't find 8-foot clothes that are gonna match.
I don't.
Yeah, we have the 8-foot skeleton. We have the suicidal squirrels. Hey, there's a show you can do. The Suicidal Squirrels of Pennsylvania. I always drive down the road, see squirrels on the side of the road, in the middle of the road, dead. I'm like, okay,
So
maybe they
Pennsylvania
know that
has
Trump is
this
president. I don't know.
well, so Pennsylvania has the suicide squirrels. Sacramento, California has the renegade chickens. Nantucket just has narcotics in every bit of water. The Bahamas now have coked out sharks. Uh, what happened to the great protesting orcas from a few years ago? Can we just get them back?
It would be a nice distraction.
'Cause, yeah,
It would be a
And
nice distraction from the Epstein files. I'm sorry.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, because that, and here's the thing. I tell people all the time, it's never too late to learn things. But I think at this point, saying the Epstein files has been a catch-all for everything. When somebody doesn't like someone who has a bit of a name or some money behind it, well, they're in the Epstein files. And I'm like, okay, have you taken the time to understand the collection of documents that are in these files?
Mhm.
And being mentioned in the files doesn't necessarily mean that you're a criminal, not taking up for anybody. Also, there's more than one crime that was being committed by Epstein, because I don't think enough people know that there was a drug enforcement agency investigation into him for drug trafficking, because he was into that also. The financial fraud, because he was a part of one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in U.S. history, and he got away scot-free because he's a weasel. So I'm like,
And
there's
was wealthy and white. That didn't hurt him.
there's levels to his crimes, and they're like, somebody was like, oh, you believe TMZ is in the files. No, Harvey is mentioned in the files. Not every employee at TMZ. Don't put that evil on everybody, Ricky Bobby.
I wanted to take this in a different direction. I wonder if I could with you, Taz. Places like, radio stations that have allowed me to be part of them now for 7 years, like Hot 101, and starting a radio station like GCPR, and the growth that it has seen, the chance I would not know you without it. I would say you would not know me, but that's way down on your list of CV. I can tell you that. That's in small, very small print with asterisks and so on. When we see the massive amount of media consolidation, corporatization, and privatization, profitization of media, how important do places like this become? Because one of the things I've always struggled with, really from our very first anniversary, and it's a question I've asked every anniversary and probably sometimes in between, is, are we making a difference here? Are we doing anything substantive? Are we accomplishing anything? Where does that come in with, what's the importance now of this this quote unquote new media?
I'm not going to take it from the lens of new media, because we've always had those on the fringe that have fought to stay independent, those that have fought to be able to stay true to being able to bring people the truth. Nobody wants to become the Scripps network that gives people literal scripts. But when you start consolidating and you start turning journalists into spokespeople who have to worry about sponsorships and ad revenue, you become dishonest. And when you become dishonest, you are not a benefit to the people, News is a chronicling of history as it unfolds before us, and letting the masses know about the history in different parts that they may not reside, that they may not know about, but they do need to. To me, the news informs so that people can give their proper consent within society. And I mean, making decisions from voting, where to live, where to send their kids to school, where to educate themselves, where to work. And when you remove that and you replace it with concern of marketing and pushing forward propaganda, Fox News, here's looking at you, you are a disservice to the populace. You're no longer chronicling history. You're no longer an archivist. You're no longer a nouveau historian. You are a detriment to society. And once you become a detriment to society, to me, you become anti-humanity. You don't want us to evolve. You want us to devolve. And what people have to realize with a society that devolves, you make yourself obsolete. Because without true blue journalists and outlets where you don't have to worry about, well, if I tell the truth about this politician or this company, we're not going to be able to pay the bills. So I have to sit here and pretend as if they aren't causing detriment and harm to their employees, and have bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 20-somethings marching in there. But when you decrease society's ability to think and work out their critical thinking skills while sitting down listening to you deliver the news, society gets dumber. And the dumber society gets, the less you need journalists. And I'm sorry, I'm not about to lie myself out of a career. And I'm not going to lie society into eating itself. I don't want to be the leper. I don't want the rest of us to be the lepers, where we're all sitting around eating each other's faces off. And when you get to a point of like CBS trying to manifest destiny media, you also decrease representation. We go back to everything looking homogenous when we don't have a homogenous society. We go back to selling the lie that everything is copacetic, that it's one big kumbaya 1982 Coca-Cola commercial where everybody's holding hands across the globe and we're just all skipping off into the sunset. We're not. We still have conversations that need to be had. We still have strides that need to be reached for. And
wasn't the dumbing down of society, though, part of the point?
Yes, and I think we've been able to fight it for a very long time. Before, we kept the dumbing down of society just to entertaining media. We had the movie tropes of the blonde girl and the quarterback and the head basketball player and them just being and we were just, oh, that's so funny, and we laugh at it. But we've now gotten to a point where if you put together all the smarticle particles of this current regime, and yes, I referred to them as a regime, you couldn't get one good synapse to pop.
Well, I think this was the point when Reagan took power to begin with, the beginning of the end of the Department of Education, ending civics education, trying to direct everyone into for-profit college when it was unnecessary.
Let's not forget, Reagan pretty much turned every college into for-profit college. He got rid of much needed mental health institutions, but his thing was, and this is why I remind people, racism doesn't always hit its intended target, communities that are melanated and marginalized, but those ricochets never miss. And the problem with that is Reagan targeted and tried to convince people, oh, you don't need this, you don't need that, let's make this so difficult. And the people he was supposed to be benefiting are the ones that are dumbest today.
Chuckles in the chat says, my thoughts are, You know what? I forgot I could do. First off, I could do that because I forgot I could do that. Still getting used to this. My thoughts are your broadcasts are accessible. You aren't up on a plateau. And to quote the younger generations, you aren't part of the E class. Thoughts? Anyone? I'm definitely not an E class. I don't even know what generation. I don't even know exactly what generation I am. 57. I think I'm generation.
You're Gen X.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
Okay.
Funny thing, we're in the same generation.
Mm.
I am Gen. I know, because somebody's gonna say, "No, you're not." I know. It may not seem like it, but I am. On Friday, I will be a crisp 49.
So we're all X-Men. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
We are all the X-Men. But here's the thing: being accessible, it's a double-edged sword. Incels are accessible. Grapers are accessible. White supremacists are accessible. It's not so much about being accessible. It's about being credible. It's about being respectable, and it's about being honorable. There are a lot of people who wear the label of journalist, and we watch it every day, that lie proudly for the sake
remember
of...
when Fox News was in court for the Dominion voting case, they admitted under oath in grand jury testimony, we lie for a living. We are not a news organization. We are an entertainment organization. And anyone who listens to us for quote unquote facts is in the wrong place.
Just like Alex Jones
said that in open court.
First divorce proceedings, in the court documents, he had to admit he's for entertainment purposes. And there are people who want to increase their accessibility, but they're not going to do it honestly. So I would say to those listening and watching, don't just look for accessibility, look for credibility. This is why I tell people all the time, trust but verify. And I put myself in that category as well. A lot of times people think when I say something, I'm excluding myself. No, I'm including myself in what I have to say. Trust but verify.
Reagan was following up on Nixon's quote unquote revenge. I call it that because I think the current reptiles that identify as the Heritage Foundation were present but have repeatedly shed their skins. That's it's graphic.
Reagan wasn't on a revenge tour. I think too many people don't realize that, because a lot of people didn't find out about the Heritage Foundation until Project 2025, and they made it seem like this was some new thing. No, the Heritage Foundation puts out their mandates every 4 years when there's a race to POTUS Mountain. The first mandate that they came out with after establishing themselves was the mandate that Reagan utilized. That's why a lot of things look familiar. But for the sake of full disclosure and honesty, every president that we've had since Reagan has utilized members of the Heritage Foundation in their administrations and utilized the Heritage Foundation's mandates. The things that people love the most that Bill Clinton was able to get past, those came straight out of the Heritage Foundation mandates for the years that he was in office. And the Heritage Foundation really isn't about hate or anything else. They were created for the sake of profitability. They get people into the administrations to hone their skills, and then they go off and either create lobbying firms or they join lobbying firms. But this think tank came together because people were like, we're not making enough money. What can we do, Janae, to make more money? And this is what they have. Their heritage is greed. It's capitalism. And that's why Trump looks so familiar, and he keeps tossing around the word mandate because he has the IQ level of a dilapidated toddler that eats lead paint chips from 1972. And when he hears certain words, he gets so proud that he can remember them long enough to repeat them. So he does.
Well, I would say 72 is a good year for paint chips, but they aged well.
I only said that because I have a cousin last night that admitted to me that they used to peel the paint chips off the wall to eat them. And I was like, please don't tell anybody we're related for the next 10 business years. Thank you.
But where does where is what we're doing here right now? Where do you think it fits in now? Is it I think to a great extent.
Real quick, Chuckles says not disputing. Chuckles, I didn't think that you were disputing or disagreeing with me. I'm referring to the dismantling of free education that Nixon started. Those damn California hippies pissed Dick off. It's not really that. I think most people need to realize we are not that many generations off of having a Department of Education. Actually, I'm older than the Department of Education, and having an actual educational system. And we don't have one that's interconnected. Depending on the region, the state, the county that you're in, you're going to be educated or miseducated differently. And we have to reconcile with the fact that George Bush wasn't the original one saying leave children, don't, no child left behind. We've been technically leaving children behind education wise while pushing them through. The problem is folks did not want schools integrated. There was a period of time that multiple school systems within the United States shut down to avoid integration. And this is why I say the ricochets of racism never miss, and the ones that they thought that they were protecting were getting hurt the most. It wasn't so much about free education. It was to prevent melanated people from communities that just happen to have become marginalized from getting comparable education to be able to properly compete. You cannot keep utilizing nepotism and illegal networking tactics to get white-bodied individuals through a system that they are not prepared for and give everybody equal standing. So you have to be able to say, oh, well, this person got in because of affirmative action, and be able to put somebody else's name and credit them for their things. You cannot keep trying to illegally get people out of positions and continue to redline, blockbuster, and gerrymander people out of place and gentrify neighborhoods if you even the playing field. So it wasn't so much about free. It was about not evening the playing field. And we also have to remember, with Reagan getting into office, we have to realize the influence that Nancy Reagan had. This woman had her family in the first technical reality TV show. They were the GE family living in the innovative GE house because she needed her face plastered all over everything. And they wanted the Catholic money. And the Catholic Church wanted people to do what? Pay for their kids to go into those parochial schools.
6:35. The Kennedy Effect is live with you for the 19th of April, 2026, our 7th anniversary program. Taz, kind enough to join us. George is here. There is no program without him that is the same. And he's been putting up with this thing for a really long time. Talk about somebody who's been here from the beginning. That is George.
I'm here for comic relief. So.
To dominate the conversation.
Yeah.
We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Our Revolution Pennsylvania, Hot101.net, Ghost Claw Productions, and Ghost Claw Entertainment. We are live right now at the Home Group Facebook page for all things that surround the Kennedy Effect, which is the Kennedy Effect on Facebook. We've shared the program to well over 100 other destinations across the Facebook universe, and to every individual, group, page, local, regional, national, global, anything that has ever allowed us to be part of your corner of the Facebook universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We share our program, as I said, to well over 100 places per week, or per airing, I should say, per live airing. Groups that are dedicated to politics. Some are local, some are national, some are international. Groups dedicated to radio, all of which I think are international. Come to think of it, I don't think there's too many local ones in there. And we thank you, and we couldn't do it without you. We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels, the YouTube channel of GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio. Go to YouTube and search GCPR. You will find us immediately. Like, subscribe, and share. We are live on my YouTube channel as well, The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. It couldn't be any easier to find us. The Kennedy Effect on Facebook and The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. We are live right now on Hot101.net, the originator of internet, global internet radio. Hot101.net, our name is our web address. Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and the TuneIn Radio app for all other types of devices. You can tell Alexa to play Hot101.net as well, and you can listen 100% for free, the best price of all. GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio. GCPR.live is where you can find us and listen to us as well, and find out everything about our station that I am humbled to be co-owner of. And you can listen there as well as download the Android app for GCPR, with, we hope, the Apple app still on the way. And everything you ever wanted to know about us can be found at gcpr.live. There's a lot of one of the things that I find fascinating about what we do here, and about what GCPR is doing, and about continuing to do this on hot101.net, is I'm fascinated by the shows that have millions and millions of people watching every single week, because I find, or every day, or every time that they air, because I find that a great majority of them are just genuinely not talented people. Like, I don't think Joe Rogan's particularly funny. I don't think he ever was funny.
I think he should have stayed on Fear Factor.
I mean,
handing people cockroaches to eat.
Ben Shapiro is, I guess, smart, but the program itself is not terribly entertaining.
Jeff, if Ben Shapiro is smart, I am a goat named Sophia.
So why do you suppose, what do you think makes some of these programs, as huge as they are, admittedly, I mean, we have to be honest about it, there's millions of people watching,
They make stupid people feel smart. They make stupid people feel smart, and they give the comfort of confirmation bias. People don't have to think, and people don't have to challenge themselves. People can go and feel like, oh yeah, I'm right. I knew I was right. I don't have to read no books. I don't need no schooling for this. I knew I was right about this. Look at him. The failure on the YouTube told me I was right, because YouTube has turned into what Wikipedia started out to be for a lot of people. They look at it as the end all to be all for information. And can you get good, valuable, factual information? Yes, but these people give the comfort of confirmation bias, and all they do is regurgitate already memorized tropes and rhetoric, and they make the stupid feel brilliant. But let's face it, we have a sitting president that was red-pilled by YouTube podcasters. That is how simple their rhetoric is. So they can sit there. It's like an adult cartoon.
It can dictate policy based on what he's listened to last.
It's like their version of Adult Swim now, where you can just sit there and a lot of people, we have to admit, a lot of people that are watching these podcasts, they're looking at it as an entertainment factor. They're not even looking at it as informative. They're not taking it all that seriously. They're just like, oh, see, I knew that was right. I knew I was smart. But when you bring the facts and you force people to reconcile with their ideologies, with their indoctrination, with their good education or bad education, they get upset. They want to push back. And the amount of people, unfortunately, in this age of technology that still want to work out their brain cells is very minimal.
So where does this all fit in then? Because granted, we don't have the viewership and listenership of some of the names that we've thrown out there today. Is it all part of the post-fact world, that because we here at GCPR and 101 tend to deal with, I don't know, factual information and history and actual real.
Yeah, and you have to realize you're
That's
also
why
battling
there's not millions of people lined up around the corner to.
But you're also battling respectability politics. There are people that want resets, revisions, etc., and they want to appear to be placating to those that are in charge. And in placating to those that are in charge, you kind of have to sell your soul, and that's entertaining. That is entertaining. For example, as a Black woman, I could do phenomenal numbers if I only entertained problematic, controversial white people. If I would bring people on the show and let them call me all sorts of names and go, see, black folks, they don't have no education, boss. They so violent. The numbers would shoot up because it becomes a show, and it becomes a show of comfort through confirmation bias. When you're factual, it causes people to think and reconcile with those that they keep around them. Growth is painful. And when you are the mirror showing them the reflection of a lack of growth, that's even more painful.
I remember asking April Riddick, who sat here for more than one anniversary special, the woman who's responsible for getting us started and getting us on 101, why we aren't more popular. And she said to me, because you're boring. And I thought to myself, wow, okay, that hurts. Like that. And I remember saying to her, I'm like, ouch, like that really hurts. And she goes, no, you're boring because you don't stand on top of the desk. You don't scream. You don't call people names. You don't lie. You don't scapegoat other people. You don't make a spectacle out of yourself. And as much as we've achieved at 101 and GCPR, I'd like to think that we continue to be that genuine. And I hope come from that place of honesty.
Yeah. Plus, the two of you have something going for you. You're men. You're men. Whatever comes out of your mouth is going to be believed regardless. In the beginning. Now there are people that will go back and forth, but you have that going for you. And because I've had people ask me, like, well, why don't you have a gimmick? Why don't you my gimmick is my personality, okay? Because I am who I am. If you want to call that a gimmick. But the facts and the truth can be boring. Sometimes you just gotta season it. I'm a little quirky, and I've fully accepted the autism in my life. So I use it like, hot sauce to sprinkle all over everything with a little touch of tahini. And I find humor in history. I find humor in what we're going through. Because we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here. The United States markets itself one way and lives completely different. And to me, that's humorous. So I incorporate that, but we do have to realize that we've gotten to a point where we have embraced being the Truman Show of the globe. So those contained within these here borders of the US of A, they want entertainment. That's why they enjoy Fox News. They know those people are crappy and they know nothing is truthful over there, but they want the show. We have reality TV that's not based in any amount of reality. People watch morning shows from reputable media outlets, not for the news, for the entertainment. But we cannot forget that the intellectuals still exist. The researchers, the scientists, the kids that are curious, the parents that want the truth so they can feel like they're making the best decisions for themselves and their children and potential grandchildren, etc. They're still out there, but we have to be honest that our society is dumb. They're Rocco. They're not even Elmo. They're Rocco. Go ahead and laugh, George. Go ahead. I always say something that gets George.
No, I was gonna.
George always is like, what's she gonna say?
Yeah.
Are we dumb or are we desperate?
No, the United States.
I think it's hard to be. I think you can make a legitimate argument that it's hard, or at least harder, to be informed, engaged, when you're just desperate to keep a roof over your head, food on the table, gas in the car to get to work, which was the entire design of Trickle Down
society,
to start
the people who would watch your show, the people who watch me, those are the outliers. Those are the ones that you're describing. I'm talking about the ones they're dumb. Okay. These are people whose favorite color is waffles. Okay. Their favorite number is blue. We are not a smart society. Okay, we have to realize that for far too long, we weren't making kids go to school. And even now, we're really not making them. We have people who barely got out of 6th grade now trying to homeschool their children. We have people who have the ability to watch space launches live and in living color, still saying the earth is flat. Stupid. And we can't say, oh, it's a lack of accessibility. Every single one of us, even if people have the Obama phones, have access to all sorts of information, and they don't have to get in a bus and go to a library. They don't have to go and learn the Dewey Decimal System. None of that. They don't even have to be able to type. They don't even have to be able to be literate. They can literally speak it into their phone or any other device, and the information can come up and be read to them. And that people are making a choice to be utterly stupid. This is why we have the dumbest president in U.S. history to date. And we formerly had 2 Bushes and Thomas Jefferson. Yes, I got beef with Thomas Jefferson.
Where does the desperation fit in there? Because I do think there is an element of that. It's what trickle down economics was designed for.
The desperation
was to make people desperate. To make them economically desperate.
Yeah, but the desperation only truly affects those that will be ushering in another enlightenment period, because there's always going to be intellectuals. There's always going to be the thinkers out there. And this is why things haven't truly gotten so bad now. We're starting to see the desperation really picking up momentum, because the head of OpenAI had the front of their house firebombed. A Tesla dealership, I know they don't call them dealerships, but got a Molotov cocktail thrown at it, because the non-thinkers are now getting it like, oh, wait a minute. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 5, as many times as they told me this. But the problem is the non-thinkers, when their desperation comes out and really is acknowledged by them, their only reaction is violence. And that's when we're going to see the populace. And that's why I say we're, as a whole, minus the outliers, we are not a smart society. We are not. We are going to see a bunch of violence, and we will have a second coming of an enlightenment period for all of us, on the outliers, to try to revamp, renew, to move forward. It's inevitable, but because we are majority dilapidated betwixt the ears, their desperation is just going to be violent. They're going to literally burn it down. All of the rhetoric about entire cities burning down, we're going to watch it happen, because when they can't pay their rent anymore, they're going to burn down the apartment complex, because that's their way of fixing it. Just like the guys like, well, they should have paid us a livable wage. So you make everybody jobless by burning down the factory, and the amount of people going, yeah, that's how you do it. No, it's not. That's insured. He's going to jail for life. The people he was protesting for now are on limited unemployment. Lives could have been lost. And you did what? They're going to invoke violence.
Do you think the self-reflection that we're kind of doing here tonight on our anniversary show is something? I don't think this is, I should say that. Maybe I should say it. I think this type of self-reflection is probably not happening on the right, with the millions of viewers and the beer belly t-shirts and, the NASCAR racing hats. And
no, the right wing teaches you to take the accountability that should be yours and the self-reflection that should be yours and put it on the backs of other people. They still hold that personage owner mentality. They want everybody else to labor for them and their benefit. This is why this mass exodus from MAGA is laughable to me. They haven't changed their ideologies. They're just changing their workforce yet again. They're changing their shields. They're not going to self-reflect because that's not the name of the game. You can't be hateful every single day and blame everybody else for what you don't work on yourself if you self-reflect. No, you put that on other people. That's why they say, oh, I thought this was the tolerant left. I thought you were tolerant. No, tolerant does not mean doormat. I'm willing to accept you for who you are, but that doesn't mean we're going to be friends because of who you are.
And automatically throw an arm around them and say, glad you woke up.
And here's the thing, they were never asleep. They know exactly what they're doing. The memes, the narratives that they share around, they're creating. Nobody's convincing them of this. They create these things to pass around. They create the lies that they tell to one another. This is why I say they were never lied to. They were the ones doing the lying, and they really thought that they were convincing the rest of us. And now they're having to face the facts that they've never been a majority. They've never been anything, and they have to find new security, new shields, and a new workforce for their tyranny. It's just in years gone past, they could rip up those pictures and throw them away or keep them in that hope chest and go, oh no, darling, I was out there with Dr. King and Malcolm X. Yes, I've always been a liberal, honey. No, they haven't, because now we can archive and chronicle things in a way that we couldn't before. You can't hide from it anymore. Because if so many people stood on the right side of history and so many people hail from abolitionists, why do we still have what ails us to this day? Why are we not further along? Why are we not smarter?
Why do you suppose what's happened with gas prices since this war began is not more of an exact illustration of that? We saw prices skyrocket. We have a 10-day ceasefire. They begin to come down. And then now we have the U.S. seizing an Iranian vessel. And I've already seen out in the street prices change.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't that be as obvious? Well, shouldn't that just be flat obvious?
At this point, I think people are confused as to who exactly to be upset with. Because when Biden was in office, people were trying to properly explain to folks who actually controls gas prices. They didn't want to hear it, but they stored it away in the back of their mind. Trump gets into office. People, again, try to explain, but you have Trump pretending that he is the end all be all when it comes to all prices, that there's no such thing as a private entity, that Z-POTUS just stamps it down and this is what the price is going to be. So right now, I think we're at a point where people don't truly know who to be upset with. They don't know if they should be upset at the oil magnates. They don't know if they should truly be upset with Trump. There are people that really think, and there's also that subset of people that really think that the posturing, the bullying, the alpha manly stuff makes a good politician. That they think that, Trump is sticking it to him. This is so great. So we can't be upset at Trump. I see the prices going up, but that can't be. They don't know who to be upset with. And on top of that, mix in that small amount also that don't want to admit that they were wrong. That don't want to admit that they are wrong. And boomers, sorry, not sorry. I'm going to throw you under the bus here a little bit because I've gone through this with my dad and stepmom and older members of my family. And for those that know me from being around the GCPR sphere, since a young child, I've always hung out with old people because old people always have snacks and I'm snack driven. But in talking to them, they are the ones with that mentality. And sorry, Gen Z, y'all are boomers minus the gray hair. They will not let up. They will not say that they are wrong. You could show them 101 ways to noon. This is where you messed up. You don't even have to tell the public that you messed up. Just admit to yourself that you messed up and make the changes so we can move ahead. They're not going to. Because it's the boomers that agreed with Reagan, brought us Reaganomics, flipped and decided, no, we don't need to have the wealthy pay their proper taxes anymore. No, we don't need mental health institutions. No, we should pay an arm and a leg for college. No, we should no longer be able to go to Sears and Roebuck and buy a house kit and put it together and then turn around and look the rest of us in the face and go, well, with $400, I was able to sustain you all and get a house and all this other stuff. But they knew what they took away. Will they ever admit it? No. And we have to admit that we have that is our assimilation stew right now in the United States. That's who I should be putting on the slides to keep in the back of the air conditioner. According to George, I am the Dexter of GCPR. I will not confirm nor deny. I mean, I have a skeleton.
So we have to send you 2 new cases and like new glass slides that are clean. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have like 300 pair of glasses that many people have created a lore behind, and I have a life-size skeleton that lives in my living room that I dress from head to toe. So
Lots of things. That's what I was saying. But if you put that outside, then you're in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah,
it is a thing around here, and I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Well, given all that it took for me to get Mr. Man to agree to let me keep a skeleton year-round in the living room, I think it's a bridge too far if I decide to put some outside. Plus, there's a gang of squirrels, and yes, I mean a gang, in the backyard that's awaiting to beat me up. Because it is not a good idea to eat oven roasted nuts in a squirrel heavy environment and not give them any.
So you and Thomas are on like this squirrel kick. Squirrels using like squirrel Twitter and stuff like that to kind of like communicate and.
Well, see, I didn't even know I had beef with the squirrels until one time I took the dog out, doing some work outside, and the squirrels were making this noise. So I took a video like, oh, this is so cute. And I posted it to TikTok, and everybody was like, girl, go in the house. That is a battle cry. They are about to beat you up. And then they joined forces with the cats, the free range cats that are out during the day. But that's the dog's fault. That is Harley Pup's fault. I'm pretty sure she said some bad words to the cats. Pretty sure she did. And they have joined forces. So, yeah, I can't really go out back anymore.
We feed every cat in the Poconos. So we have outdoor cats. We have indoor cats. So we're good. And we have squirrels.
Cats that... Yeah, I'm not... Yeah. I used to... No, see, when I was in Kentucky... No, when I was in Kentucky, there was one squirrel that I used to, like, bribe. Okay, and that's because this squirrel would come out on a ledge and like throw stuff at me when I would go out on the patio, and it started to hurt. So I was like trying to bribe him. The squirrels up here, I haven't been out to negotiate with them to see what they would want, because after I realized that squirrels have a battle cry, I got scared.
7:02, entering the second hour of the Kennedy Effect live with you for the 19th of April 2026 as we celebrate our 7th anniversary on the air with you. Nowhere else we'd rather be at this time of day, on this happy, what we hope is a happy 7th anniversary. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Ghost Claw Productions, Ghost Claw Entertainment, Hot101.net, and Our Revolution Pennsylvania. We are live on our home group Facebook page, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook, plus well over the 100 other places we have shared the program live with you on this fine Sunday. Maybe not fine. It's looking rather dark and gloomy and like it's going to storm yet again outside, but it's a fine Sunday nonetheless. We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels, the YouTube channel of Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR on YouTube, and The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, go up to the search, type in GCPR or The Kennedy Effect, and you will find us. Very, very easy. Very, very simple. Infernal says it's very polleny outside. Yes, it is. It's
they're always saying Harley is innocent. Harley Pup is not innocent. Harley Pup bullies me every single day, and I don't know which one of you all listening or watching taught her how to tell time, but your days are numbered because I don't appreciate it.
You don't like that? Oh, you didn't like Infernal's joke?
Well, because okay,
the only thing he wouldn't trust you with is the last Reese's.
Well,
I wouldn't trust me with it either. Reese's are
good. I wouldn't trust Taz with it. Yeah, don't. Well, okay. Oh, Jeff doesn't. Oh, Jeff doesn't know the story about. Okay, so there, my baby brother, goes to a church, and the pastor of the church is the uncle of one Mr. John Legend. John Legend has a wife, former Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. We were there for a little church event. Was I supposed to be eating in the sanctuary? No. Did I still have snacks? Yes. And I was down to my last Reese cup. Okay. I had gotten away with it. And she took my last Reese cup and ate it. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Body lost at sea in the swimsuit competition.
So I was just like, okay. So we got beef.
Oh, okay.
There's not too many people I can say I would go to war with.
She's one of them?
Yes. Okay. Do I have a beef list? Yes. Most of them are historic and most of them are places. Like the entire state of New York, I got beef with. Virginia, I got beef with because of historic decisions that they have made that just irritate me. The UK, I got a beef with because every time they name something, it has to be a paragraph long. Please stop. Just make it simple. Okay. And I don't appreciate the UK for not understanding what a pudding is. Okay. You all are calling essentially a upside down pot pie a pudding. That is sacrilegious.
Yorkshire.
Stop that.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, Yorkshire.
And clotted cream. Yeah, clotted cream.
Yep. And I still don't understand Marmite, but that's that's a whole different topic for a different day. I still don't understand Marmite.
I don't understand Marmite or what does Australia have? The Vegemite stuff.
Vegemite. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, the Vegemite from Australia. It's it's extremely salty, but it's I mean,
I've had it and it confuses me.
Yeah, my brother went to Australia after graduation when he was in college, and he went to go dive on the Great Barrier Reef. So he sent me home some of the, or he sent it to the house, the Vegemite, and he goes, "Oh, we spread this all, like on our toast every morning, and we eat it and everything." So, open up and smell it, like, okay, it smells pretty good. Spread it on toast. Took a bite of it, and it was like pouring 3 pounds of salt into your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's an anchovy paste, basically. That's what Vegemite is.
Crikey.
And and here's the thing, like I love a good Caesar salad, and I love a traditional Caesar salad with the OG Caesar dressing that a lot of people don't realize has anchovies in
anchovy paste. Yep.
But Vegemite, it is confusion in my face. But and to the people before this show started, I should have never gave them a public email. I said, now, I do have a little bit of an obsession with mayo, but for those of y'all that decide to let me know that in Scotland they have mayo ice cream, I'm not doing that. I'm not that far down in the trenches of mayo. Okay. And
What
then
about
the pudding,
salad cream, which is similar but not the same?
I do my I guess you could say a version of tartar sauce using salad cream and relish mixed together as a dipping sauce for fries sometimes, like if I want to feel fancy.
Mm-hmm.
But and I know some people in the US don't understand it, but essentially in the US, y'all like salad cream too. It's Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip. Mm-hmm.
Because salad cream is just a creamy salad dressing. I don't like salad cream on salads except for coleslaw. I wish they would put a little bit more in the coleslaw. But too dry. And then like the fries hot, and then they put the mayo on top of the french fry. First of all, if y'all put stuff on your french fries, if it's not like cheese or something is wrong with you, and I think you need to be evaluated.
Ice cream?
Ugh.
Yeah, see, I don't get that one either. Dipping your hot fries in cold ice cream, I don't get that one.
I'm like, who started doing that? Like, please stop.
Get that one. I don't get that one.
Or putting the cheese on the apple pie.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where that came from either.
That was
some things
I think it's like a southern. Yeah, that's a southern.
It's gonna all mix in your stomach, but it has to still taste the right way going down.
I've never bought into that. Well, it's all going down the same way.
You got to taste it though on the way down, and or else it ain't going anywhere except the opposite direction. Let's get into a little bit of the
the cheese on apple pie isn't even really a southern thing. That comes from the UK too. That's their tradition. That but they did make a point of changing their accent to no longer sound like us. So that would explain why the South still keeps
Queen's
it, because the South
English.
has the OG.
Right. They don't call it the Queen's English by accident. Let's get into a little bit of the news. The U.S. Navy seizes an Iranian-flagged ship near Strait of Hormuz, and Tehran vows swift response. This is from the Associated Press, written by Michelle Price, Sami Magdi, and Sam Metz. Updated today. Dateline, Washington. The United States has attacked and seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship, it said, that tried to evade a naval blockade near the Strait of Hormuz on Sunday today, and Iran's Joint Military Command vowed to respond, throwing a fragile ceasefire into question days before it expires. It was the first interception since the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports began last week. Iran's Joint Military Command called the armed boarding an act of piracy and a ceasefire violation, the state broadcaster said, with the U.S.-Iran standoff over the strait sharpening and the ceasefire expiring by Wednesday. It was not clear whether Trump's earlier announcement on new talks with Iran now stood. He had said U.S. negotiators would head to Pakistan on Monday. The uncertainty sent oil prices rising yet again. One of the worst global energy crises in decades threatened to deepen. Taz, your thoughts?
We still haven't learned from the whole tariffs debacle, and I don't think that we are going to collectively learn and stand up and, as Maxine Waters would say, reclaim our time until we're past insolvent, and we're at insolvent right now. And that's unfortunate, because we are a country we got to learn the hard way.
You think that the United States has descended into only learning through failure?
Yes. Because success doesn't seem to teach them anything. We get to a point where we do something right and we're like, oh, this is working. We will mess it up. We are definitely the hand that rocks the cradle. We will mess up a good thing in incredible speed.
The Artemis 2 mission set aside, what was the last great success for the United States?
Not re-electing Trump before we re-elected Trump.
So 2020.
Yeah. Because we can't, and for those that don't understand this, because some people are going to be like, well, the COVID vaccine, those were not our technologies. We weren't the head, we weren't at the forefront of that research. We have dumbed ourselves down that while the current administration is being anti-immigration, we require immigration for our smart studies, for our STEM.
Mm-hmm.
We are the anomaly right now. There used to be a point, like I graduated from a STEM high school. There used to be a point where you could throw a rock and you could hit somebody that was gung-ho to get into the sciences. Now, no. Like, but in all seriousness, the last time we could truly be proud of something and say that it was innovative.
Apollo 11.
Yeah, that's
because that actually started the space age. But
yeah, because not gonna lie, I was extremely embarrassed when a president was like, yeah, we're gonna expand the armed forces, we're gonna add Space Force.
Oh yeah, it turned out wonderful.
And I'm like, what
stealing the logo from Star Trek, and and putting it on a patch and going, oh, it's it's ours.
And those joining Space Force, what do y'all do on a daily basis? Like anybody that's like looking to join Space Force, currently a part of Space Force, I'm not being facetious. It's a genuine what do you do on a daily basis? Like, how do you train? What is your ROTC like?
It's basically just a SAC base. It's a strategic air command, basically. No, well, it's
they monitor other countries' satellites. They do a lot of
they monitor space junk. That's all they do.
Yeah, they do
because
that too.
Do you know how hard you have to work to be more
but what their
boring
basic
than the
training
Air
is like
Force?
would be interesting to
Do you know how hard you have to work to be more boring than the Air Force? Before somebody comes at me, I have multiple family members that are in the Air Force, and I'm just like, I get it. Like if I was going to join the military, Air Force would be where it's at. Like, I want an office job. I'm not going outside with y'all. But space, come on. Like,
when Space Force came about, a friend of mine who's in a current Star Trek club, I'm not going to mention his name. He he said, "Oh, Space Force. Oh, it's going to be the start of the United Federation of Planets." And all of a sudden, a friend of mine said, "Okay, great. That's great. Where are you going to go?" And he goes, "No, but it's it's like the okay. Where are you going to go?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go to the moon. You can't transport to any other planet. We can't get out of our solar system as much as we would like. We have to stay on this planet. We can't even transport like from one country to another." None of the nations are helping one another in terms of Star Trek. Like if you watch Star Trek, like Strange New World.
Well, remember that only happens after the Third World War.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or after the eugenics war. Yeah.
Yep.
And here's the thing: we got a Space Force. After all of us have been begging Scotty to come beam us up since Trump went down the escalator. it's some,
My God, I wish I could go back in time and just rig that escalator.
at,
Could've just
at this
revved it up.
point, I'm waiting for Trump to do a presser from the Oval and go, I've been talking to a good friend of mine, and we're gonna start an academy for some very, very special people, mostly kids. Come here. You know about my buddy, Hannibal Lecter, but I want you to meet Professor Xavier. I'm just waiting for that because at this point, that's what we're moving to.
One school I would go to.
I'm just waiting, or him to say that forget Elon Musk. We're gonna bring back Doge, and I got somebody better to head Doge. Who? Trump? Tony Stark. Like, I'm waiting. Like, I'm just waiting. Because I'm just like, let one of his grandkids like start go down to the White House movie theater and start playing stuff and just be like, it's a documentary, Grandpa. This is what we're gonna get.
I didn't get my $2,000 check. I didn't get my $5,000 check. Check from Doge. So
we didn't eliminate the bureaucracy. Linda McMahon
we created the idiocy.
Yeah, and Linda McMahon didn't eliminate her position because remember, she said, Trump told me I'd be successful at this job if I eliminate my position. You dumb broad. What? Ain't no way somebody's going to be like, hey, Taz, I'm going to hire you for this, but you're going to be the bee's knees if you eliminate your need to be here. And she ran for an educational seat previously. She had to vacate it because, she lied on her resume. She spent millions of dollars to get that position. And now her full-time job is to eliminate it. Yeah. How many concussions have you had, Linda? How many?
But that's what she was put there for, was to shut down the department she's going to run. The only remaining function of the Department of Education at this point is student loan collection because the government makes money on it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Trump needs to do a better job of vetting his friends, aka his regime members, because Linda McMahon couldn't even get lawsuits to go away for the WWE. She couldn't get scandals to go away that included ones with her own daughter. Like, she's not good at eliminating things. Yeah, only thing that she eliminates is tact.
Well, yeah. The only remaining function of the Department of Education really at this point is student loan collection. They have successfully dismantled the department.
Yeah, and by dismantling, they sent everybody to other agencies. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I've said this for a while, and some people don't agree with me, and that's fine. With the creation of the Department of Education, we should have had national standards for education instead of a plethora of national tests. If you have to shut down schools to teach children how to pass a test, we're already failing. We should not be learning different things in different areas of the country, and they shouldn't all be named something different. We got 50,000 names for the Civil War. Yeah, no.
We have the real ones, we're also the politically correct ones. But
we're also in a country where restaurants can't even decide to keep a name from coast to coast.
You mean the War of Northern Aggression?
Yeah, because at first, and I'm tired of people going, Crystals is better than White Castles. It's same thing, fam. Same thing.
White Castle is fantastic, by the way.
It is.
It is.
But not Popeye's biscuits. That thing can stop an oil spill.
Jesus Christ, that thing. Oh my goodness.
I was just by White Castle this morning, and it took discipline to not be part of it.
I just realized that
there is a sack of 20 would have been 20 crave case would have been pretty.
I just realized that there's a White Castle closer to the house than what I originally thought. Just because leaving the house, I don't think I've ever like gone out the street and gone to the right. I don't know why. I guess I'm biased against going right. Um, many puns intended there. So I was like, oh, it's closer than I thought. Oh, Inferno, Girl Scouts can't even keep the same cookies across the country. Okay, as a former Girl Scout and Girl Scout leader, there's a reason behind that. People in this country are fickle. Some people don't want certain flavors in their area, the majority of them, and that's unfortunate. But now that the Girl Scouts have gone digital, you can pretty much get anything you want from anywhere. And they're probably gonna try to beat me up again. Just go to the cookie aisle. The Keebler elves have duplicated all of the Girl Scout cookies.
Have they all of them?
All of them.
Oh, see, I don't think grasshoppers are quite the same as Thin Mints.
So yeah, they've duplicated all of them. Some of them they've gotten spot on. Some of them,
not so much. There are a few things that will satisfy a snack craving, like a frozen Thin Mint.
Yes, and
the peanut butter ones in the fridge.
I like to freeze the Thin Mints, then crack them open, and dump them in vanilla Greek yogurt.
Here's a thought.
Because getting healthy and unhealthy at the same time.
Well,
I grew up with the
yogurt helps with the digestion.
TG Watt yogurt, and the frozen yogurt thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of prefer it because it's not as sweet, and I'm a gelato girly. But the crushed, I don't know, it's something about the frozen Thin Mints crushed up and mixed into the vanilla. It goes so well. And I found out about it by accident. I was babysitting one time and I was crushing up because this particular kid liked frozen Thin Mints crushed up over popcorn, and they came up and hit me, and I was making yogurt for myself and it went in there, and I was like, I'm not wasting it. I'm gonna eat it. And I was like, this is a happy accident. So. Wendy's has a Thin Mints Frosty here right now. Tracina, you always have the best snacks where you are, and you don't be sharing those snacks. I don't feel like that's fair.
Wendy's is on my boycott list.
What was it? Oh, the other day I had
anti-LGBTQ.
But... Oh.
Do you have a boycott list?
Yeah. I'm so bad I put my boycott list online. It's quite lengthy. Somebody called mine the King of Queens boycott list because they're like, you have a list like Leah Remini's character on there. I do, because I will randomly just look up a company, what policies they have, who is on the board, things like that, and then on the list you go. And then sometimes
Hobby
it's just
Lobby.
They suck.
Yeah.
Hobby
yeah,
Lobby.
and sometimes it's they suck. Like Sonic will be on the list and then Sonic will be off the list. Sometimes Sonic is on the list because I went and the tater tots weren't crispy.
I have never
part ethical and part finicky.
I have never been to or eaten from a Chick-fil-A.
I had Chick-fil-A twice. Once when they first opened up, because a brother of mine,
they're very popular.
They have waffle fries, and I was like, okay, these taste just like the waffle fries I can make at home. And then a second time, I was sick, and someone had sent food to my house and wasn't paying attention, and it was burned. And I was like, ugh. And I didn't taste, I don't know what it tastes like. I could smell that it was burned, and I was just upset. And I'm just like, this should let you know you are not the Lord's chicken. That's why he burnt it. The Lord has seasonings. Speaking of which, Raising Cane is on my boycott list because they're
Really?
boycotting seasoning. So I'm boycotting them.
Their boycott is what now?
They boycott seasoning. They don't season nothing. And why does everything have to be a chicken strip? I cannot believe y'all let them get away with that. They made a whole chicken strip restaurant. Absolutely not. No. Diversify the chicken options.
How about Steak and Shake?
I used to love Steak and Shake. Then COVID happened, and then they jacked up all their prices. And for some reason, their buns are soggy now. It's like, did y'all keep the buns in the freezer until COVID was over with, and then you took them out, and now they're just soggy at the bottom? But I do like Freddy's. I don't know if you have a Freddy's near you.
No.
It's like Steak and Shake.
No, we don't have that.
But it's
steak,
a little bit more high.
I don't think we have. Yeah, I don't think we have that anywhere around.
The one with the one down by my old house. I'm in New Jersey in Parsippany. Was Smash Burger. Yeah, Smash Burger.
Yeah,
it's pretty good burgers.
Okay. Do you have
Shake Shack? They have Shake Shack.
Oh yeah, Shake Shack.
A Ford's. Well, we have Shake Shack here. A Ford's Garage. It's a restaurant.
No.
Oh, yeah.
There's
an opportunity to go. They have a bacon jam burger that is, and they have and truffle fries.
About 20 minutes from here is a place called Quaker Steak and Lube.
Yes, I've been to Quaker Steak and
It's the only one that I'm aware of, like in the entire valley.
I reluctantly had Quaker Steak and Lube because I thought something else was going on there. Because only Quaker Steak I knew about was given oil changes. And then I was like, and then they're like, no, it's not that. So I thought it was a Midnight Ballerina establishment, and I didn't want to go in. I don't have anything against Midnight Ballerinas. Make your money, ladies and gents. But I'm not one of those people that goes into a Midnight Ballerina establishment to eat because your undercarriage is exposed, and I don't want those juices are my food. In my mind, that's where they will go. But the food was, it was food. Quaker Steak and Lube. It was
food.
It was food.
I'm reminded of a scene from Family Guy where they buy the fake Frosted Flakes with Tommy.
Okay.
With Tommy the Tiger, and he goes, "They're food."
Yeah, like Quaker Steak and Lube. It's like they're okay.
I ate it, and I'm still here.
Yeah, like I have a family member that every winter holiday season, I look at my dad like, don't call me complaining. I'm not cooking nothing. I'm not coming. Y'all done lied to her for years, acting like y'all actually like what she eat. It's on y'all. And when y'all die from that bad food, don't even come back and visit me in the afterlife. I'm not getting a Ouija board. You're going to be speaking to the air. Don't try to haunt me. I'm putting salt all around the house. You won't be able to get in. No. The only good thing is they live very close to a plethora of fast food. And I was like, that's why y'all let her play in that food like that. Just no. She is the first person I've ever seen to burn a ham in a crock pot. And I was so upset looking at it because I was just like, because my family ain't shit. They was like, come here, you got to see this. And I'm looking like,
How could you burn a ham in a crock pot?
I don't know, but I ordered a pizza, I picked it up, and I went home. And this was during the time we did not live in the same city. We still lived in the same state. I was like 2.5 hours. I lived 2.5 hours from that. Yeah, I ate pizza on the drive back. Like, nope, I'm not doing it because I'm not gonna be able to bite my tongue because that's disgusting, and I don't want to see what else you made for this meal. No, you could have just told us you didn't like us. Didn't nobody tell you had to marry into this family? You didn't have options, but you could have said no when he proposed. You could have said no. You did not have to show that you don't like us by doing this every chance you get. No. And I told my dad, I said, I don't know how many times she has to set her oven on fire for y'all to realize cooking is not her ministry. Stop eating that. No, I don't know. I don't know how long she had it in there. It was, first of all, that was the thickest juices on the ham I've ever seen. And it was charcoal black. Okay. It was midnight black. Okay. If it was tint on your windows, the cops were going to give you a ticket for it. It was. No. But she'll tell you, I can cook. No, you can't. No, the only thing you successfully cooked was 2 babies, and one of them is questionable. Please and thank you. No, I would not let her.
I had put into the comments one time when you were on the Villain's View about the International House of Pesticides, and I wanted to explain that story to you because when I was in California, Lynn and I used to go to Trader Joe's in California, in Ventura, and there was an IHOP. And she said, look, honey, there's an IHOP. You want to go there for breakfast one day? I was like, sure, no problem. I was like, yeah, okay. So we kept going to Trader Joe's, and we went this one day, and there was this tent over the entire building of IHOP, and it had it was like a pest control company, so they were fumigating the entire building, but they had to put this, it looked like a giant circus tent, but it was like green, it was like green and yellow and red stripes and everything. And it was just all enclosed, right? And it said spraying for pesticides, and I was like, oh. And then I said, look, honey, and she goes, what's that? I said, oh, it's the International House of Pesticides. That's what we just never. And then and then they took it off, they aired it out, all those things, and then people were like going into and she goes,
that there was people thinking this is the best time to go in now.
Yeah, the best
right after the fumigation is probably the best time to go in. But the remnants, I think, would have bothered me just a little bit. The potential residue.
Like the people,
pancakes just jump into your mouth. Okay.
Yeah, there used to be a group on Facebook, and every time somebody would try to add me to it, I would leave. And the people who tried to add me, they had the purest of intentions, because I used to do a segment called Weird News before the news just became weird. And in this group, there were like 20 older people, and by older, I'm talking like in their 70s, that would just so gleefully tell people where there were like food specials for lunch, for dinner. Problem is, these older people were going to buffets at strip clubs. And I was like, can y'all stop adding me to this group? Because I don't want to see your mamas and papas talking about how they're having early bird special pricing with the strippers. I don't want food out of a strip club. I'm sorry. You could have the most sanitary kitchen ever. There is Bucci Cat flinging around in there, and I don't want the sweat juices falling on my chicken wings or anything.
I could tell you from experience, because when I used to play paintball in Pennsylvania, when I lived in New Jersey, my friend was notorious for going to strip clubs. So he goes, hey, we're going to go get breakfast before we go to the field to go play. And we went to this place, Smiles 2, legs and eggs. And I was like, and I walked in, and there's girls dancing on the bar, like stripping, and guys are just eating eggs and toast. I'm like, and that image totally blew all breakfast for me for like 6 months. 6 months I didn't have. I think I may have had like Carnation instant breakfast. Just like I just drank it and went. I couldn't eat eggs for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And my my friend's going, isn't this great? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I will be outside. He goes, no, no. You stay here. I'll bring you something. No. I will eat something at the field. I will try to kill a bear or a deer, and I will suck the blood from the deer, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there and eat in front of women like that.
Well, see,
Yeah.
there were 2 strip clubs right across the street from one another, and I found out they were owned by the same person. There was a pizzeria, and then there was a place that a bunch of us used to like to hang out at. My cousin and I would shoot darts there, and there were a couple people that would shoot pool. One day I was sitting outside. It was hot in the place, and I was just sitting outside. We had ordered a couple hoagies or whatever, and I was sitting outside waiting for the hoagies to get done. And I see some strippers come from both strip clubs and go into the pizzeria. And then they go back out, and I'm like, y'all not gonna just like relax, take your lunch break and sit in there? She's like, this isn't for us. This is for our regulars. Wait, what? The regulars can order and you all play waitress and come. No,
extra toppings.
Right. Just because the one I'm like, just walk 2 doors down and get your pizza. The other one just walk diagonal across the street and go get. Okay. And these 2 strip clubs, I call them bullet hole fest because some strippers will have 1.5 legs. A couple strippers look like an Etch-a-Sketch drawing. You never know.
So that was my.
I cannot confirm or deny if I ever went to an $8 surf and turf strip club buffet when I was homeless. Okay, you were homeless, Infernal. That's understand. Like to get up and make the decision that you want biscuit boobs and cooter omelets for breakfast is something completely different. No, like, and now, you know what? Now I have ammunition for Thomas to stop making fun of me for drinking coffee Luwak.
Those of you who have been with the program for an extended period of time know that one of the topics that I take on and post into the group page, that the Kennedy Effect on Facebook, I post a lot. And on my own personal Jeff Kennedy Facebook is about animal welfare and about animal cruelty, puppy farms, and good adoption stories. Well, this actually came up today. It's one of my, it's one of those kind of topics that is probably not on most people's top 30 of issues facing the country today, but it's one of those things that I think that help define a society. One of the ways you judge and define a society is how it treats those who cannot speak for themselves, how it treats children, how it treats animals, how it treats those who cannot defend themselves. And so this article just came up when I was looking for news stories to discuss with Taz, and it'll be where we finish the program. We'll probably take you to the top of the hour. And this is from the Associated Press from today. Dateline, I do not know the article's author. It's not stated here. Dateline, Madison, Wisconsin. Headline reads, Wisconsin authorities put total arrests from clashes at beagle breeding facility at about 25. Again, Dateline, Madison, Wisconsin from today. This is from the Associated Press. Around 25 protesters were arrested as around 1,000 animal welfare activists tried to gain entry to a beagle breeding and research facility in Wisconsin and were met by officers firing pepper spray and rubber bullets, authorities said on Sunday. Saturday's protest was the second attempt in as many months by demonstrators to take beagles from Ridgeland Farms in Blue Mounds, about 25 miles southwest of the capital of Wisconsin, Madison. They were turned back by officers who arrested the group's leader. Dane County Sheriff's Office said the situation was, quote, significantly calmer and more peaceful on Sunday when around 200 people assembled outside the farm. They dispersed after around 2 hours. The sheriff said in a video statement Saturday that 300 to 400 protesters were violently trying to break into the property. They tried to overcome barricades that included a manure-filled trench, hay bales, and a barbed wire fence. Those arrested included the leader of the Coalition to Save the Rigland Dogs, Wayne Hussing, which I'm probably butchering. He's 44 years old from New York, who was being held on a tentative felony charge of conspiracy to commit burglary. But most arrestees were just booked and released, the sheriff's officers said Sunday. The sheriff's office in Dane County, Wisconsin, found it more justified to shoot people with rubber bullets and pepper spray than to shut down a beagle facility. Beagles are used throughout medical experimentation because they are docile and they are trustworthy and, generally speaking, and will tend to remain loyal and docile and trusting regardless of the abuse you put them under. Beagles are regularly used to test makeup because it's dropped into their eyes. They have tubes shoved down their throat, pumped full of smoke to determine the carcinogenic values of cigarette smoke, as if we didn't already know that. A society is judged on how it defends those who cannot defend themselves. And law enforcement found it more important, rather than investigating this beagle farm and probably shutting it down, to shoot the protesters instead. Now, I find this not only just disturbing, but I kind of find it to be a bit of an allegory as to where this country is right now. That the abuse of the animals is protected over those who would see them set free. Not sure if anybody else agrees. Not sure if I care. But I find it to be an allegory for where we are in this country right now. And I hope it's something that you'll take with you and think about. Again, the article can be found on the Associated Press app, and I'm sure at their website as well. It was posted today. Hunsing said in a statement, quote, "No one should be assaulted for giving aid to a dog, even if damage to property is part of that rescue effort. The animals of this earth are not things. They're sentient beings, and we have the right to rescue them from abuse." Protesters took 30 dogs when they broke into the facility in March, when the authorities arrested 27 people. Ridgeland denies mistreating animals, but agreed in October to give up its state breeding license as of July 1st. On its website, the company says no credible evidence of animal abuse or cruelty or mistreatment, neglect has ever been presented or substantiated, but yet they're going to give up their license.
Right.
Do you find this the same kind of allegory that I find it to be? Or am I just oversensitive as a parent of not currently. They've all passed, sadly. 5 rescue cats and 2 rescue dogs.
No, I'm in total agreement. I may be a bit
I just
sensitive when
find
it
it to be
comes
an
to animals,
allegory for
but
where law enforcement protecting the abuse as opposed to
and
stopping
because
it.
it even goes further, because between the beagles being abused and, as we discussed briefly earlier, the Epstein files, we're seeing the powers that be allowing abuse to continue and incarcerating those that we have been taught our entire lives are the rightful heroes, the ones that are standing up for the downtrodden. And I'm a firm believer that you can tell a lot by someone's character by how they treat someone that they don't need anything from. And if you are willing to allow abuse to continue, you're a horrible person. And especially, and as someone who has been a beagle mom, I don't no animal, let me put that out there. No animal should be abused.
How is it that the
But
EU
beagles are
can ban
so loving.
how is it that the European Union can ban animal testing, but the United States either can't or won't?
We haven't allowed ourselves to intellectually grow enough that we are comfortable with new methods and incorporating humanity. In the United States, we have a long-standing history of our research and development being torturous. Because the dumber you are, the less humanity that you have. And we're not as intellectual as we think, because we are still able to lazily act as if pain only resides in us as the individual.
As opposed to a collective societal pain.
Mm-hmm. That's that rugged individualism where people really truly compartmentalize themselves out of the reality of pain is universal and pain is not necessary. If we look at the origins of a lot of our science and our medicine here, it's through the torture of people, and we haven't educated ourselves out of that. We make fun of, we downgrade because we don't understand the methods of other countries. We don't understand the fact that they have educated themselves further into humanity.
I often think to myself, I've said on the program an awful lot, like probably too much. Even beyond trickle down economics, or beyond, the idea that if the rich just keep getting richer, it'll benefit you, and that low taxes on rich people is a good thing. When they're doing well, we're all doing well, that kind of thing. That perhaps the greatest lie of the Thatcher Reagan era is that we are not a society, that we are not a community. We are simply a group of rugged individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Am I think I'm off with that, or am I somewhere in the ballpark? I think that might be above all of it. I think it might just be the greatest lie of all. Because it makes it easier for me to not care about my neighbor.
And also, if you don't care about your neighbor, you can keep up the hate, because with that rugged individualism, think about how people talk even to this day. They act as if the consumer and the worker are two different groups of people. They lose sight of the fact that all of us are a duality. We are the worker and we are the consumer. We work so that we can consume. And when you don't have to care about your neighbor, you don't have to work on your humanity, and you don't have to reconcile with yourself in regards to accountability. And also that caveat into that rugged individualism is the selfishness. People don't want to care about their neighbors, but they want their neighbors to care about them. And they don't get how that there's no way for that to work.
Well, I think sometimes when these deeper thoughts and these deeper concepts, I guess, might be a bit difficult to grasp. It's these allegory stories that I think can go a long way to help us figure out and describe and understand what all is going on. And that story would be one of them. And I give great, it's not a story I've seen anywhere else too, by the way. So congratulations to the Associated Press for putting it out there. I certainly didn't see that on MS Now today. And I watched a good lot of it, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that today. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to let you take the floor. Well, first off, I need to thank you immensely for coming on the program. I've been struggling with the program lately because I've been struggling mentally and emotionally to get myself sat down here, and the fire for the program is not what it used to be, and my hope is that it will return. So for you to come and help bail me out here a little bit is beyond kind, and I am very, very grateful for it. But I want to turn the floor over to you just so that people who may not, although I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching and listening already knows who you are, but when is your show airing? How do people find you, follow, the whole 9 yards?
One, it's always an honor when I can sit in on your show, Mr. Kennedy. It's always an honor. I enjoy our time together. But for the Taz Effect, we are Monday through Friday, 3:30 Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Eastern to 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And Mr. Jackson, Mike Jackson, in the comment section. We don't have a war secretary. Only Congress can change the names. Sorry, I'm a bit of a stickler with that. But our SecDef, quoting edited versions of Pulp Fiction and stuff like that, did discuss on the Taz Effect. Now, you can find the Taz Effect at gcpr.live if you just want to listen over the radio airwaves, or you can find me on the GCPR official YouTube channel. You can find me on TikTok at TazJ15 or on YouTube at TazJ77. On Upscroll, all at TazJ. It also airs on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and over on Substack.
What's the future you think of what you and I are doing here as we wrap up a 7th anniversary, and it's kind of the self-reflection that we've tried to bring to the program, a little bit of self-reflection, self-examination here.
I think,
what's the future, what we're doing here?
I think the future is going to be change standards. And I say that because I do take a peek in at legacy media from time to time, and I have noticed that they are branching out into the streaming sphere, the podcast sphere, and they're going to platforms where they're not just reading off of a teleprompter, but just like with me, I give people the historic context and understanding of what's going on in the news today for better understanding, and you give a unique perspective. It's going to change the delivery of the news. And because people now have options It's going to continue to push legacy to not get comfortable with being cookie cutter, because if they do, they will lose their standing, just like cable is losing to streaming services.
Yeah. We're wrapping up here. I'm not sure who's trying to call, but we're going to be done here in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, because
See, I still think that the future of this is bright, but at the same time, I almost wish it wasn't necessary. I wish we could trust legacy media again. And, you know, there aren't any Walter Cronkites left, I guess. I'd like to think that there are. But
the future is bright, because on the horizon, historically speaking, we are on the precipice of another enlightenment period. And we can only be better for it coming out on the other end. And I,
Right,
for
the
one,
80-year
I
cycle.
cannot wait to go through this enlightenment where Cliff Notes version, it's going to be cool to be smart again.
Progressive
Nerds will reign supreme.
It's that 80-year cycle of economic calamity, war, progressive turnaround. The rich slowly chip away at it over the course of that 80 years until we're in another Gilded Age like we are now. Economic calamity, war, progressive awakening. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I do see signs of a progressive awakening, and I hope that I can only hope it continues. Thank you very much for being here with me. Means very, very much to me. I'm very glad that you took even more personal time away, to be here. And for all of you listening out there, we will plan to be back with you next week. 19 and 7 is the 26th. It should be the 26th if my math is correct.
Yes, it's 26th.
For all of you who wished us a happy anniversary, I say thank you to everybody, every single one of you who has ever called the program, or who watches, listens, who watches on YouTube after we're done. Maybe you don't watch us live, but you watch us after we're done on YouTube. Thank you for that. We couldn't be here without you. We simply couldn't be here without you. It's that simple. We could not do this program without you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. And it means a tremendous amount that you are here with us each week. And especially that you're patient when we're not here, that you return each time that we do. So to Mike and Randall and Annabelle and all the folks who have called the program throughout its history, thank you especially. I hope that you will continue to tell folks that they could be regular callers here. It doesn't hurt a bit. It doesn't hurt. Nothing bad's gonna happen to you for being a caller to the program. But we will plan to be with you again next week. So let me say good night to just about everybody here. For everyone at GCPR.live listening to the audio version of the program, here's what's coming up. The Villains View pre-show begins in about 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, we'll be live in 20 minutes.
Pre-show begins in about 20 minutes, full throttle, full bore, all gears, full steam ahead.
Tonight is, I guess it's a GCPR crossover day, because tonight on The Villains View, we will have, for the second time, the illustrious, the wonderful, the stunningly intelligent Pastor Gia Clinton of Heart to Heart on GCPR.live.
And that starts again in about 20 minutes of pre-show, full throttle from 9 p.m. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11. And your broadcast work week begins tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. with the sound of coffee. So for everyone at GCPR, thank you. We will see you again next Sunday For everyone at hot101.net, for DJ Lex, DJ Earl, and the entire hot101.net family who were kind enough to take time out of their day to wish us a happy anniversary today, we say thank you very much for allowing us to be part of your broadcast day yet again on this Sunday. We will return to you next Sunday from 6 p.m. right here at hot101.net. For now, the music returns to you. And for everyone on our streaming services, I say thank you again for allowing us to be part of your Sunday. We will plan to see you again next Sunday from 6 p.m. We've done about all the damage we can do for one night. So we will see you next week. Until then, please, all of you, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great, great